Hey guys, welcome back. I hope you had a really good first week of school, and I hope that virtual learning is treating you well. Today we are going to look at modeling on the number lines. We are going to add and subtract with integers, and so we are looking at page 9 and 10, and then just add modeling on the number line on your table of contents. Just a reminder that you do need to be completing your warm-ups and going through the virtual classroom, but obviously in order to get this video, you are doing that. If you ever have questions, remember, feel free to email me. I'm still trying to work these things out and figure out all the little pieces of it. Some of you have done a great job at reaching out. Feel free to email me with anything. I promise you are not bugging me at all, okay? I want to give you the best math education that you can get, even if you are at home. So your notes today are number lines. So you have vertical number lines, and then your next page is horizontal number lines. Now, if you have the ability to print, I would go to Google and Google blank number lines and see if you can find something similar. That would be probably the fastest thing for you to do. But if you don't, that's perfectly fine. You can go ahead and just sketch these on your notebook paper. Now, to save you a little time, you do not have to label each dash. Make sure you put each tick there, but if you just want to label 0, 5, 10, and then -5 and -10, I think that is perfectly okay. So you're going to give me 9 vertical and then 10 horizontal. So go ahead and either find some to print, or you can pause the video and draw them, and then we will begin. Alright, so our first problem is going to be 5 plus -3. So 5 plus -3, these are integers because they're whole numbers and they're opposites, okay? So we have positives and we have negatives. And so now we need to model what is happening with this math. So the first thing we're going to do is start at 0. We're going to start at 0 every time. And we're going to +5. So we're adding 5. So I'm going to go up to 5. There we go. Hopefully you can see that pretty good. And now we are adding -3. So if you think about it, if you were going to add +3, you would go up. Well, the opposite of +3 is -3. So instead of going up, we're going to go back down. So we're at 5, and we're going to go down 3 spaces. So 1, 2, 3. So that ends up at 2. So 5 plus -3 equals 2. Alright, let's try another one. Let's do -8 plus 2. So again, we're going to start at 0. We're going to go to -8. And then it says to add 2. So it's a +2. So because we have a positive, we're going to go up 2 spaces. And when we do that, we end up at -6. So -8 plus 2 equals -6. And if you think about this one, if I owed you $8 and I gave you $2, I would still owe you $6. So I'd be -$6 in the hole. Alright, then let's flip it over, or you can go to your other page. Kind of depends on how you're doing this. But if you have, go ahead and go to your horizontal number lines. We're going to do a few problems horizontally. So let's do -9 plus 2. And again, we're modeling this. Even if you know the answer when you look at this, let's make sure we can model correctly. So we're going to start at 0 like always. We're going to go to -9. And then we're going to add 2. So since we're adding 2, we're going to go to the right 2 spaces. So that ends up at -7. So -9 plus 2 is -7. Alright, let's do -8 plus 10 equals 2. So start at 0, go to -10. Try to make that a little thicker for you. And now, so we're at -8. I might have misspoke. We're at 0, we're going to -8, and now we're adding 10. It's a positive 10, so we're going to the right 10 spaces. So if we go to the right 10 spaces, we would count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So we're going to end up at positive 2. So -10 plus 10 equals 2. And we modeled that here, starting at 0, 8 spaces, then we added 10 spaces back. All right, let's go back to your vertical number lines. All right, so we have -3 plus -6. So we always start at 0. Then the first number we're going to is -3. Let me make sure you can see. Perfect. -3. And then we're adding a -6. If we were adding a positive 6, we would go up, but since we're not, we're going to go down. So now I'm going to start here, and I'm going to go 6 more spaces. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So -3 plus -6 equals -9. So here we can see if we have 2 negatives, when we're adding, our answer will also be negative. All right, let's do 2 minus 5. So we start at 0 like always, and we're going to positive 2. Now this is a problem that you might have run in before when subtracting. If we have 2 and we're taking away 5, all we can really take away is 2 in order to get to 0. But now that you're in 7th grade, you can work with negatives all the time, so you can always take away more than you have, and you can go into those negatives. So we're at 2 currently, and we're taking away 5. So since we're taking away positive 5, we're going to go down. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And that has us land at -3. So 2 minus 5 equals -3. Let's do -3. Let me make sure. Okay. -3 minus 3. Now, we're going to model it to make sure we get it correct. So we're going to start at 0, and we're going to go to -3. So 1, 2, 3. Now, we're taking away positive 3. So normally, if we were subtracting, we would go down because we're taking away. So that's what we're going to do here. So we're going to take away 3. 1, 2, 3 gets us at -6. All right, we'll do one more vertical and then we'll switch it over to horizontal. Let's do let's do one that's a little bit trickier. So here we have -2 minus -6. So here we have a lot of negatives and subtraction, okay? So we're going to start at 0. We're going to go to -2. So now we need to take away -6. Let's think about this. If we would normally, to take away +6, we would go down. Well, -6 is the opposite of +6. So the opposite of going down means that we're now going up. So we're going to go up 6 spaces. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So -2 take away -6 gets us to +4. I'm also going to model that with 2 color counters real fast. 1 second. I'm going to go grab them. Since this is a trickier problem, let's practice real fast. So we started with -2. Remember, the reds are negatives. And we need to take away -6. Well, I can't take away -6 because all I have here is -2. So I need 4 more negatives in order to take away 6 negatives. So in math, one thing we can do, we can add 0 pairs. And you guys did this yesterday watching those videos on YouTube and then modeling on your Google Slides. You added 0 pairs. So I'm going to take a -1 and a +1 because they cancel each other out. They equal a 0 pair. Just like with $1. If I owed you $1 and then I paid you $1, I now owe you $0. So here we have our 0 pair. So on our 0 pair, we're going to add that. Well, I still can't take away -6. I'm going to add another 0 pair. Still can't take away -6. Another 0 pair. Still can't take away -6. Another 0 pair. And now I have -6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, all negatives. So when I do that, started with 2, added 0 pairs, because all of these represent 0, technically. And now I can take away 6 reds. I have enough to do that. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to take away 6 reds. And when I do that, I'm left with 4. So that is why -2 minus 6, or sorry, -2 minus -6 equals 4. So we modeled it on the number line, and then I showed you with your 2 color counters. Alright, let's do some horizontal ones, and I'm going to let you practice a few. So let's do 6 plus -8. We always start at 0. I wish I could ask you that question and you could all answer me. But we start at 0. We go to 6. Now we're taking away, or we're adding -8. So since it's negative, we're going to go to the left 8 spaces. And when I do that, I end up at -2. Alright, here's another one of those tricky ones. So 4 minus -6. So we always start at 0. We're going to go to +4. Okay, so we're at +4. Now we need to take away -6. Well, let's pretend this is a +6. If this was a +6, normally to take away 6, I would go to the left. Well, since this is a -6, so it is the opposite of +6, I'm going to do the opposite of what I would normally do. Normally, I would go to the left, so now I'm going to go to the right. So I'm going to go to the right 6 spaces. And when I do that, I end up at positive 10. All right, let's do negative 4 minus 1. So we start at 0. We're going to negative 4. Now I need to take away one more. So in order to take away, I'm going to head to the left. And I end up at negative 5. And that makes sense. If I owed you $4, so it's negative $4 in the hole, and then I owed you one more dollar, I now owe you $5. Okay, what I'm going to do for the rest of these problems is I'm going to write them out on the side, and then you can either continue watching this video, or if you are confident and you're willing to try it by yourself, which is what I want you to do, you can go ahead and pause it after I write these down, do them yourself, skip to the end, and check your answers. So write those down, pause them, work it out, and then check your answers. And if you got it right, awesome. If not, you can watch the video and let it keep up with you. So we're going to start at 0. I'm going to go to negative 7. And then I'm taking away negative 8. So normally if I were to take away 8, I would go to the left. So since this is the negative 8, I'm going to do the opposite of that because it's opposite of positive 8. So the opposite of going to the left would be to go to the right 8 spaces. So that's going to equal positive 1. And I accidentally gave you your answer here. But we have start at 0. We're going to go to negative 3. And again, we're taking away a negative. Subtracting a negative is actually the same thing as adding a positive. So the opposite of going to the left, taking away positive 12, since it's a negative 12, we're going to go to the right. So we're going to go to the right 12 spaces. And when we do that, we end at 9. We're going to start at 0, go to negative 9, and then we're going to add 3. Now this is a positive 3, and so normally we would go to the right, and so again, that is what we are going to do. So when we do that, we end at negative 6. Start at 0, go to negative 7, and then I'm going to take away 3 more. This is a positive 3, so it's just normal subtracting 3. So 1, 2, 3 takes me to negative 10. Then start at 0, go to 4, and then I need to take away 6. If I were to add 6, I would go to the right. So since I'm taking away 6, I'm going to go to the left. So I took away 6, and I ended up at negative 2. So hopefully this is making sense. Hopefully you're starting to get the hang of it. We're going to keep practicing integers for a long time. Positive, negative numbers are very important. They're very helpful. We see them a lot of places in life, especially when it comes to money. So it's important that you have a good understanding of how negative numbers work and how negative numbers work together with positive numbers. Alright, we're going to do the last 3 on the front. Again, I recommend that you pause it after I write the problems and you try to do them on your own. That way you get practice, you're taking responsibility for your own learning. If not, if you're confused, you are more than welcome to continue to follow along. Alright, so here we start at 0. We're going to go to 4. And we're taking away negative 3. So normally if we were to take something away, we would go down. But this is a negative, so it's the opposite of a normal, or what we're used to. So we're going to go up 3. So we started at 0, 1 to 4. Now we're going to go up 3 more spaces, which takes us to 7. So 4 minus negative 3 equals 7. Start at 0, go to negative 5, and then subtracting negative. Again, normal when we subtracted, we would go down, but since this is a negative, we're going to actually go up. So we're going to go back up 5 spaces, which takes us back to 0. So negative 5 minus negative 5 equals 0. Which sounds weird. Most people would automatically assume that equals negative 10, but that is not what we did. Here we have 8 plus negative 3. So start at 0, up to 8, and then you're adding negative 3. If we were adding a positive 3, we would go up 3 spaces, but since it is negative, we're going to go ahead and go down 3 spaces. So 1, 2, 3 ends us up at a positive 5. So hopefully this helps. Hopefully you understand how we add and subtract integers on a number line. You have an assignment, so head on over to Google Classroom and work on that next. I hope you guys have a great day, and we'll see you tomorrow. And I'll fix paper just in case you needed something.